Ever feel like some jobs are kind of like stepping stones?
Mm.
And then there are those that are more like, I don't know, a path you can really explore. We're diving into one of those paths today, trade regional manager. And guys, the research we've got piled up here, it's not just about what the job might ask, it's how it can like grow with you.
It's a trajectory. Yeah, not just the title. We're going to unpack not just the day-to-day, but how those skills you build, they become serious leadership as you move up.
Okay, so picture this. You walk into a store, any store in your region, you're the trade regional manager. What's the first thing you're zeroing in on?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's almost like you develop this like sixth sense. You're scanning for anything off, maybe a display that's just not landing or a staff member, not really connecting with customers the way they should. You're responsible, ultimately, that each location reflects the brand and hits those targets.
So it's big picture strategy, but also those gut instincts.
100%. You could be deep in regional sales data 1 minute, then coaching a brand new store manager on inventory the next. And those skills, let me tell you, they become critical as you climb the ladder.
Speaking of skills, one stat from this career guide we've got kind of surprised me. Almost 70% of this role. Monitoring? I thought, monitoring sounds kind of passive, but then I got to thinking about what that really means in retail.
Oh, it's the opposite of passive, believe me. Say you see sales dip for a certain product just at one store. Is that a local thing, a competitor running a sale? Or is it that location? A trade regional manager, if they've got those sharp monitoring skills, they can spot that pattern, maybe even before the store manager themselves even knows there's a problem.
Whoa, so you're like a detective. But instead of crimes, it's like sales slumps you're solving, or even like predicting before they happen.
You got it. And you need the hard data to back it up. That means getting into those sales figures, inventory reports, even the customer demographics for each spot. Analytical skills, that's where they shine.
Okay, so we've got that detective side down. But what about the people person part? You're not just managing numbers all day, right?
No way. You're leading and motivating teams, a lot of times remotely, across a whole region. Remember that 63% persuasion stat you mentioned?
Right, 63%.
That's where that comes in.
Give me an example. How does a trade regional manager actually UE that persuasion, like to directly make a difference in the business?
Okay, say you've got to roll out this new company-wide thing, like a loyalty program. You can't just tell store managers, do it. You got to get them on board with the WHY, get them excited so they champion it, give them the tools to get their staff pumped. That's persuasion in action. And that skill, it just gets more vital the higher up you go.
Makes total sense. It's not about bossing around. It's about getting everyone moving together towards the same goal.
Exactly. And that ability to influence, to inspire, that's something that sticks with you. Retail or whatever you do, that's leadership, plain and simple.
That's what I like about this. You can really grow with it. We're talking entry level all the way to senior management, shaping the whole company strategy.
Yeah, and each step comes with more responsibility, for sure, but also the chance to have a bigger impact. Think about it. When you're running multiple regions, you're basically, what, a mini CEO? Decisions impact the entire company's bottom line.
Okay, we've talked a big picture, right? Those leadership skills. But let's get into it. For real, typical day for a trade regional manager. What's it like? Spreadsheets, phone calls, or are you actually out there on the floor?
Get ready to ditch the suit, my friend. This is not some desk job. You are the eyes, the ears, constantly moving between stores.
Paint a picture for our listener. It's Tuesday morning, you're the trade regional manager. First thing you're tackling.
Tuesday, I'm probably already in the car, coffee's in hand, heading to one of my stores, site visit. Could be planned, could be because I saw their sales dip last week. Gotta love that monitoring.
Okay, so you roll up to the store. What happens next? Walk me through it.
First things first. Gotta connect with that store manager, right? Get a feel, how are things running? We might talk about anything urgent, new product launch, or hey, even staffing issues.
I bet those staffing challenges, those are getting tougher and tougher these days in retail.
No kidding. Finding good people, keeping them, that's a big one for trade regional managers right now. But we can circle back to that.
Definitely, definitely. So you're chatting with the manager. What's next?
Time for a walk. Walking the floor. This is where those monitoring skills, they really come alive. I'm checking displays. They got to be eye-catching, stocked up. But also just watching how customers are interacting with everything, the whole experience.
So it's not just numbers on a screen. It's seeing how those numbers actually play out in the real world.
You got it. Let's say I see a display. It's looking tired, not pulling its weight. I might suggest to the manager, hey, let's try a new layout. Maybe some fresh signage, some promos.
And boom, there it is again, those persuasion skills. You're not dictating, your problem solving together.
Exactly. Influence, not command. That's the key. It's got to resonate with them so they're motivated.
Okay, so store visits done. You've got your finger on the pulse, back to the spreadsheets.
Not so fast. This job, it's got variety, that's for sure. I might have, like, a virtual meeting now with my whole team of store managers, talk regional sales, what's working, maybe a new training we're doing.
Like you're juggling. Right.
Ah,
Coach,
yeah.
analyst, strategist, all in a day's work.
Nailed it. And then, of course, there's the mountain of emails, the reports, presentations, the fun stuff.
So the store visits, that's the exciting part. But there's still plenty of work behind the scenes.
Oh, for sure. Crunching those numbers, reports for the higher-ups, managing the budget. Can't forget about those.
Sounds like you got to be on top of it.
Yeah.
Organized, efficient.
Organization is key, no doubt. Knowing what to prioritize, that too. And hey, tech skills are huge.
Right. Can't just be a calculator and notepad anymore. What kind of tech are we talking?
Well, you got to know your spreadsheets, presentations, that's a given. But increasingly, it's data visualization, inventory systems, even CRM software. Got to keep up.
Tech savvy and ready to learn the new stuff.
Retail never sits still, and tech is only getting bigger.
Okay, so we've got a feel for the day-to-day. Let's talk challenges. What are some of the curveballs in this job?
Meeting those sales targets, that pressure never goes away. You're driving revenue for a whole region. That's no joke, especially with all the competition out there.
And, like you said, some things you can't control. The economy takes a hit, or even just people's tastes change.
Exactly. And speaking of change, online shopping, that's been huge.
It's not just about the physical stores anymore. It's that whole online world, too.
Right. A good trade regional manager, they're blending those strategies, online and offline, working with the e-commerce folks, keeping the brand consistent, or even just how do we get people from online into our stores?
Whole new world of, well, challenges, but also opportunities.
For sure. And hey, let's not forget supply chain issues. Those have been brutal lately.
Oh, man. Those can really throw a wrench in the works. Got to keep those shelves stocked, customers happy. Not easy.
Tell me about it. You got to think fast, be creative, and keep everyone informed, your team, the bosses, everyone, when those problems pop up.
Not for the faint of heart, but for someone who, they like a challenge, fast-paced, working with people, sounds rewarding.
It is. Seeing your plans work, your team grow, knowing you're making a real difference for the company, that's the good stuff.
Real sense of ownership in this role, it sounds like.
100%. You're not just along for the ride, you're driving the bus. And that's empowering.
You've really laid it out, those challenges, but also, man, the highs you get from conquering them. But it's not just about, like, surviving in this role, right? It's about taking those skills even further.
You get it. And honestly, that's what gets me pumped about the future of this whole thing. Tech isn't just changing how we shop. It's like giving trade regional managers a whole new bag of tricks.
Okay, hit me. Give me an example. How could someone use tech, like really shake things up, create a shopping experience that's totally next level?
Imagine, right, you walk into a store, boom, your phone, it connects with their system, personalized greeting pops up on a screen nearby, recommends stuff based on what you've bought before, maybe even a notification, flash sale, aisle 3, right now.
That's wild. So you're taking that online personalization, but it's instant. You're right there in the store.
You nailed it. And you, as the trade regional manager, you're the one coming up with that, analyzing the data, making sure every store is using this tech the right way.
It's like you're not just managing stores, you're curating the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Using data to make it feel like to each shopper, they're the only one that matters.
And that's the mark of a trade regional manager who gets it. Customer-centric. Always.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, your sales can be through the roof, but if those customers don't become regulars, what's the point?
You've given our listeners a lot to chew on today. The skills, the hurdles, the potential here is huge. Any last wisdom for someone who's thinking, yeah, retail leadership, that's for me?
Be a sponge, honestly. Soak it all up. Learn from everyone, your team, the shoppers, even the competition. The best trade regional managers, they're not afraid to get in the trenches, hear different sides, and change their approach when they need to.
It's a path for people who love to learn, love a challenge, and that fast-paced world working with people. If that gets you fired up, this could be it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So if this is calling your name, don't overthink it. Jump in. Retail needs leaders, people with your vision.
And hey, who knows? Maybe a few years down the line, you'll be the one giving US the inside scoop on the future of retail.
I can't wait to see what's next, that's for sure. This industry, it never slows down.
And there you have it, folks, our deep dive into the world of the trade regional manager. We hope you found this one insightful, maybe even got those gears turning a bit. Until next time, stay curious out there. because you never know what we'll be diving into next.